Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm so happy that you're here. Today we are going to be taking a look at a cheap NVMe SSD heatsink to see if it works. Actually, so we're gonna buy a really cheap SSD heatsink for like $5, $6 off of like Amazon, and then we're gonna put it on top of an NVMe and see what the temperature difference is and to see if it actually works. For this, we're actually going to be using the ADATA XPG SX8100 NVMe. This is a 2 terabyte NVMe. This should get pretty hot. And there's really no reason why I'm using this specific NVMe, just the fact that I was lucky enough to get my hands on a broken one, and I ended up just RMAing it to ADATA, and they were great at just giving me another one. So, yay! ADATA, no questions asked. Woo! So, anyways, let's put the heatsink on and let's see what the difference is going to be. Okay, so how the test is going to work is this. I'm going to plug the NVMe onto my test bench, and I'm going to be running Crystalmark benchmark, so it pushes the temperatures a little higher. Now, I could have done this with just the file transfer, but the file transfer in like a real world environment is not going to be as heat intensive as the Crystalmark benchmark. So for the first test, we're just going to plug in just the drive by itself and run the benchmark 3 times. For the second test, what we're going to do is we're going to put on our cheap $6 heatsink that we bought off of Amazon. It's not a lot of money, and how this comes is literally just a piece of metal or aluminum. It's black, so I'm pretty sure it's aluminum. And it comes with a thermal pad on the bottom, and to attach it to your drive, either you just stick it on or you apply these rubber bands that come with it. So in our case, we're going to put a rubber band to hold it down, but I did notice that it does stick on pretty well by itself. But if you're going to do it sideways on your computer, it's better to just put the rubber band on so it holds it together. And the test is going to be run just the same as it was with the NVMe. 3 tests total, and we'll take the average out of those 3 times and put it on our chart. Okay, and for our final test, we are going to be putting on that cool little XPG sticker that the drive comes with. I always thought this was a sticker, but I kind of had a hunch that it might be a heatsink. It is made out of metal. I'm not really sure how good the temperature transfer is, or the heat transfer is on the sticky pad that it has on there. It literally just looks like a sticker with a metal branding on it. That's all it looks like. So do I have high hopes for this? Maybe not. Before we get to the results, we're going to look at the base idle temperature of each one of these. And on idle, without any heat sinks, without any stickers, without anything, just the drive itself, it usually runs at a minimum of 37 degrees Celsius and a high of 38 degrees Celsius, which is not bad at idle, and it's not doing anything. For when we added the cheap heat sink on there, our $6 heat sink, the average was actually at 30 degrees Celsius, so it dropped by 7 degrees on the minimum, and it was an average or it was a max of 33 degrees Celsius, so it dropped a 5-degree difference for our max idle temperature. And here's the kicker: the idle sticker temperatures were minimum 34 degrees and max 35 degrees. So we still see a reduction of 3 degrees just by adding that sticker for our max temperature on our idle drive, which is actually kind of surprising. So let's move on to the high heat benchmarking. Okay, so this is how the numbers look. Just the NVMe by itself, running the benchmark test on the Crystalmark, had an average of 70.3 degrees Celsius, which is pretty high if I'm being honest. Once we added the cheap heatsink that we got off of Amazon, though, it made a huge difference. The cheap heatsink brought it all the way down to an average of 43 degrees Celsius. So it's not bad. The cheap heatsink actually made a huge difference, and I actually can't believe how much lower it got. But here's the craziest part. That little sticker that was just a piece of metal with a sticky thing on top, on the bottom of it, brought the average temperature down all the way to 48 degrees Celsius. I was so surprised by this, by these results, definitely the sticker one, that I thought I made a mistake. So I ended up removing the sticker back off of the drive and reran the tests just with the NVMe by itself, because I just couldn't believe that this made that much of a difference. So once I ran the benchmarks again, my first try of it gave me like the drive went all the way up to like 70 degrees Celsius on the first try. So I didn't make a mistake, and it's actually insane how much of a difference that sticker makes. So do not throw that away. Just do not throw that away. It is definitely worth putting on. And also, if you're gonna take it off, I'm sorry to say this, it's not gonna go back on correctly. Put it on and just don't take it off. Just leave it like that. Okay guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, in the comments, let me know, were these results surprising to you? Did you know that that little sticker off the drive was that beneficial? And would you go out and buy one of those big heat sinks or little cheap heat sinks off the Amazon website now that you know that they actually do work? If you guys have done any of your own testing, feel free to put your own testing down below in the comments. If this was helpful to you and you enjoyed it and you think it might help somebody else in making a decision about buying a certain drive, in this case we only tested one, but it should still kind of help. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this video, make sure you like it, or do some cool things like that. It definitely is appreciated in the channel. It is growing slightly, and I do appreciate you guys being here. So until the next video, thank you again for being here watching, and I shall see you on the next one.